Hello. Welcome, goblins, ghouls, monsters, witches of the internet. I am Hanyo. Your demise in a fire. And I wasn't actually going to plan a stream tonight because I had like a bunch of other things to need to do. And it's already like way past the time normally would stream. But I don't know, I was feeling a Umineko mood, I guess you could say. So I thought we could just read for a little bit. I'll only lay for about an hour. I still have to get some writing done today. And then some... What else I had to do? And there's something else I had to do today. I can't remember what it is now. Now that I'm here with you guys. Yeah, I hope everybody had a good day today. Hopefully nothing bad happened to you. If it did, just let me know. As a demon, I can curse and possess people. I kind of out of practice, but I can do it if I put my mind to it. Now let's get the chat acting up and being good. Chat doesn't want to. Fuck. That's fine. Let's do it like this. Let's basically half screen the thing. I don't want to use phone as chat. Alright, get this stuff off real quick. Distraction. Nuisance. Ah, yeah, that's right. I was gonna do a couple of trailer reactions. And so it's something I can upload to the channel. Yeah. I haven't really had a chance to watch any movies doing reviews or so. Well, I did watch FNAF. I did watch the FNAF movie, and that was pretty good. Well, for someone who only played half of the first game, I thought it was good. It didn't really feel like the game though, so I need to play more games probably before I can give my opinion on that. I did watch the new Hell House movie, but I want to kind of do like a big video on everything about Hell House, so probably not. I won't do any of that for a while. I am working on a big Mayfair Witch video, so that one probably won't be done for a while though, because I want to listen. Well, I can't read. Well, much as I love to read, you guys kind of see it in here. I'm a bit of a slow reader, so I'm re-listening to that audiobook for that book. Then I'm gonna rewatch The Awful Show. Rewatch once to take notes. Then rewatch a second time as I record my individual thoughts for each episode. So that's gonna be a long vid whenever I get that done. Mostly the editing. I hate the editing process, mostly because I hate my voice. I got a lot better to listen to my own voice since I started streaming and doing all this. But deep down, I still just hate listening to my voice. I cannot stand it. Something about it. I mean, do you want to listen to yourself in your own ears, with headphones, for several hours? Do you? Do you? You might drive somebody mad. You might drive them a little mad. Okay, sorry. I moved the microphone up a little bit. Sorry, there's a little bit of disturbance. I feel really low. My mom put the chair swivel, what do we call it, down while she was cleaning up. And now that I'm sitting in the different thing, it's like because it's so low, it feels weird. I don't know how to describe it. That's good. Give me 1 second. Put this. Check one second. Check one thing. Okay, let's go. Started for the game. Because we're going to do this for about an hour. So we might stop around 9:30, 9:50, around that time. Get a quick little drink. Okay. Let's go. Load up. Why is Maria there? But it's the right date, October 30th. That's the last time we played the game. Hello, dogs! How are you doing tonight? This is an impromptu stream. I was like, because I was gonna, finally got time to sit down. I was like, trying to get some writing done. Was like, I streamed for a second. Like, I kind of want to play Umineko. Oh, you're moving! Oh, that's so awesome! Hope is nice. You move up. Moving on up. That's good though. I've been stuck in this old place since the day I was born. Well, not technically, but I've been in the same place for a while. Everybody changes, but we stay the same. That's good though. I had a and mostly okay day. Had to help somebody with something that took forever. Got kind of stranded in the sun, waiting for a bus that didn't have to take. So I got a little sunburned. I am a half demon, but I'm kind of like a vampire because the sun doesn't like my skin. My skin doesn't like the sun. I burn very easily. I know. I was only out there for about half an hour, and I was like walking, it's here and there, and got me. There was some hope today. There was some hope that the day was going to be good when I saw that the Volume 2 for Higurashi Go came out. Because I was just wandering Books a Million for a second. It's like, oh, it's awesome. So let me run over to Shekin and Charles, which is like their sister store, to get by over there because I have gift cards over there. And they don't have it. I was like, something good was going to come out today. And then hope just ripped it from my arms. Move your desk and PC today, and I almost got them out back up for streaming. That's good. Yeah, nice. What am I about to say? I can't wait for your stream. I'll try to check you out whenever I can. Maybe I can see you sometime soon, because I need to take a small break from streaming for the next couple of days. I had to get the apartment ready for an inspection. Yeah, to do it every other day. Also, I just need to sit down and write. I've only got about 1,600 words down for Namoramo. And while that's a good start, it's not... I was hoping to get a little bit better, but... there's so many distractions. So many distractions. But I love it. I just sat down to start a new story that I've been planning for a minute. And once I started writing it, like, once you get in that mood and the story just starts flowing out of you, it's such an amazing feeling. Yeah, but what I was saying earlier, yeah, we're gonna read this for about an hour. Then I need to head off to get that writing done and to do a couple of trailers. I don't really want to do trailer reactions I really don't want to record the trailer reactions. I just wanted to upload something to YouTube. The current video I have in plan won't be done for a minute. I haven't started recording and editing it, and I already feel bummed because how long it's gonna take. Well, most of the subject matter, the Mayfair show. Let's get to the book. Oh, the Maria! I love Maria. It just cheers up my day. Also, she just reminds me of myself when I was little. Literally, this is more or less. Maria is what Hanya was like when Hanya was a little boy. More or less. Thanks to a kids program that they came across, Maria was feeling much better. Battler and Jessica were poking fun of the kids' shows at every turn, cackling together. George was enjoying the program with Maria, from her perspective. Nanjo sat on a sofa by himself, passing the time by reading quietly. Oh, should be a little softer in my voice. Sorry, Nanjo. They heard hurried footsteps coming from the hallway. They were the footsteps of a single person. Did that mean it wasn't the group of 4 that just left? It was Genji. It was very rare for Genji, who considered being out of breath a violation of a servant's virtue, to be gasping for air. He had probably come dashing back from the outside the mansion. His shoulders were soaking wet, and he didn't have his usual trim appearance. When Genji noticed Nanjo looking at him, he gave a small, silent bow and quickly approached him.
Nanjo sensei, 申し訳ございません。
Nanjo, my apologies.
至急お越しください。
Please, come with me quickly.
何事ですかな?
What is the matter? As Genji whispered something into Nanjo's ear, Nanjo went pale. He rose from the sofa, trying not to be noticed by the children, who were still engrossed by the TV. And the 2 of them were rapidly left the parlor, muffling their footsteps. Just as they were about to exit the parlor, they came across Nasui, who was pushing a serving cart loaded with a tea set. Genji whispered something into Nasui's ear, and Nasui went pale too, in apparent shock. Then, leaving the serving cart where it was, the 3 of them crashed. The 3 of them dashed towards the entrance. George noticed them running down the rose garden through the window.
なんだろ
What's that?
う。源氏さんと南條先生と。
Isn't that Genji-san and Dr. Nanjo and...
あれは夏日おばさんかな。
That's not Aunt Nasui. That's Aunt Nasui, isn't it?
どうしたんだよ、兄貴。
What's up, Aniki?
何かあったのかな。
Maybe something happened.
ひどい慌てようだったね。
They looked terribly flustered. When Jessica and Maria saw that Ava, Hideyoshi, and Nanjo were no longer in their seats, and that the serving cart had been abandoned in the entrance to the parlor, they also realized that something was the matter.
何か事故でもあったとか？
Could there have been some kind of accident?
行ってみようぜ。
Let's go check it out.
俺たちだけのけ者なんて面白くねえしな。
Finally, we're the only ones left out, right? For some reason, what Battler said sounded extremely indiscreet. But they couldn't deny that they were a little insecure and concerned after seeing the adults, who run off into the rain without regards to their appearance.
行ってみようぜ。
Let's check it out, okay?
何があったか気になるぜ。
I'm worried something might have happened. Jessica's uneasy words spoke for all of them.
おい、マリア。
Hey
お前も来るか？
Maria, you coming too?
それともテレビを見てるか？
Or will you watch TV?
うん。
Oh,
マリアはテレビがいい。
I want to watch TV.
うん。
Oh, I love little Maria. That's me. That was me as a little Hanyo. And that's me right now.
僕たちだけで行こ
Let's go on without her.
う。マリアちゃん、すぐ戻るからね。
Maria-chan, we'll be back soon.
テレビを見て待ってるんだよ。
You keep watching TV, okay? By the time the kids made it outside, the adults were no longer in sight. But Jessica seemed to have a pretty good idea where they gone, judging by the direction they've been running. Following Jessica, we ran through the rain-soaked rose garden. The wind seemed to suddenly get stronger. The malicious sound of thunder began to ring out like it had the previous night. It felt like an eerie something had surrounded the island and was trying to stop us from moving forward.
ジェシカ、この先には何があるんだ？
Jessica, is there something over this way?
確か園芸道具なんかの倉庫があったはずだぜ。
There's a storehouse for gardening tools or something.
そんなところに一体何があ
What
るん
in
だ
the
ろう
world
ね。
could be going on in a place like that? Just as Jessica had said, they began to see a storehouse in front of them. They could also see the adults there. The shutter to the storehouse was open, and several adults looked as though they were searching for something. For some reason, only Natsui was outside the storehouse. Without even holding an umbrella, she looked like she was hanging her head, and back was facing them. There was Genji, Nanjo, and Natsui, who had just left the mansion. The ones who left earlier, Kanon, Eva, and Hideyoshi, were also there, making for a small crowd of people. But there was absolutely no bustle of activity. When Natsui realized that the children were approaching, a terrible expression rose to her face, and she ran at them with her arms spread wide.
来てはいけません。
You mustn't come in closer!
お屋敷へ戻っていなさい。
Go back to the mansion! But despite that, no. Because of that, the kids saw the scene Natsui was trying to keep them away from. Inside the storehouse, with its shutter wide open, a faint fluorescent light shone down. And right there was... Oh! Is it playing? Is it playing? A Mirage Coordinator! This is where Mirage Coordinator starts playing? I love this theme. Just a piercing shriek rang out. Yeah, just like me when I heard the song. But that was just Jessica's scream was the loudest. The same thing spilled out a battler and George's mouth as well. Ava spread her arms just like Natsui, roaring at the kids with a bone-chilling expression on her face. George, take everyone and return to the mansion. Quickly! Right now! When Natsui spread her arms, I thought she was trying to prevent us from advancing any further. But that wasn't why Ava was spreading her arms right now. She was trying to stop us kids from seeing that terrible sight. That scene. It was her mother's heart, trying to protect the eyes and hearts of us children, by blocking our view of that terrible scene by at least the width of one of her arms. Is this some kind of joke? Is it? I've seen this kind of cheap scene all too often. I know this is Golden Slaughter, not Mirage Coordinator. That makes more sense. The other song is different. I've seen this kind of cheap scene all too often. In manga, TV, anime, and movies, I've seen it over and over again. This was just seeing something appear in real life like that I've seen plenty of times before in some of those more sensational movies, right? That alone shouldn't. But that suit, it's that old bastard's, isn't it? I get it. And then that's Uncle Kraus and Kiri-san and Rosa. Dad! Dad! You mustn't, Jessica. You mustn't go in. You mustn't look. Dad! Dad! Right. Rigor mortis has set across in almost the entire body. Most likely. 6 hours or more have passed since death. As far as I can tell by looking at the damaged area. I'm sorry, I'm too giddy. Because the song. Rigor mortis has set in across almost the entire body. Most likely 6 hours or more have passed since death. As far as I can tell by looking at the damaged area, there's a high probability that they were damaged after their deaths. No, I must watch what I say. I'm a general practitioner. Examining corpses is outside my area of expertise. So, what does that mean? Just killing them wasn't enough? So, they went on to do something like this? The devil! This here's the work of the devil! Aunt Natsui caught Jessica in her arms, and Aunt Ava caught George Akini. So, I was the only one who could approach the entrance to the storehouse. If only there had been someone there to catch me too. I wouldn't have needed to have this horrible, evil scene burned into my eyes. No, that's not it. It isn't that there's no one here to catch me. The people who should catch me, they're right there, aren't they? Just as Jessica said, it looked like a storehouse for gardening tools. A lawnmower with extra blades, a grass sickle, and a hammer, and some carping tools such as a saw. Piled up potted plants and bags of fertilizer. And treated just the same. The corpses of several people have been laid to rest. Turn music up a little bit. Okay. And treated just the same. The corpses of several people have been laid to rest there. No. Have been tossed in there. I could tell them by their clothing. That old bastard in Kiri-san, Uncle Kraus, and Aunt Rosa. Beyond that, Goda-san, and are there still more of them? How many people died? You're fucking kidding me. I can't even count them on hand. Damn it! I didn't know that whether it had been one of these gardening tools, which if used by something other than their intended purpose, could definitely be wielded with a naked brutality. Or whether some horrible tool had been brought in here specifically for this. Anyway, each one of the bodies jammed in there had been given an atrocious makeup. It wasn't makeup, it was more like their faces had been plowed. Their faces were smashed, forced into an expression that normal people couldn't make even after death. I couldn't tell where the eyes or the noses were, but I could find their mouths, specifically because they were gasping wide, their gums exposed, but their front teeth were missing, and even the cheeks that should have been covered were all torn up and laid bare. That trendy makeup you always spend so much time on, even though you're a man, isn't doing a thing now. I always thought you were going to hell. But still, not like this, right? You weren't such a son of a bitch. You should have suffered so brutally. And Kiri-san, didn't I tell you to stop going out with this guy? There's absolutely no reason for you to end up like this too. They've got no faces. No faces. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Butler-san, you mustn't look anymore. There's no way your mother and father would want you to see them like this. For your mother and father's sake, you mustn't look anymore. Dead people are supposed to have faces when they're sleeping peacefully, right? They have no faces. My dad and Kiri-san have no faces. I don't even know what kind of faces they were making when they died. What's wrong with me? Well, I have to see them smashed. Monster-like faces every time I remember them. That's just great. I didn't want to remember that old bastard's smug face. Anyway. It's just great. Just great. But why? Even Kiri-san's face. Kiri-san wasn't a crook. Sure, she ticked me off a bit now and then. But she was like a cool big sister to me. This is wrong. This is all wrong. At least Uncle Charles has it better, doesn't he? It's not his whole face, just his side. At least he got half his face. His face left, right? That's still better. That's still better. Jessica filled her ears with the sound of her own screaming, trying to shut out my reckless words. Stop it, Butler-kun. Stop it. Stop it. Aniki. Discarding age and appearance, I fell to my knees, clinging to Aniki's waist and sobbing. It was as if I was crying on behalf of everyone there. Representing the feelings of everyone there, I screamed over and over. Okay, that was kind of sick right there, how the light went out. But that was awesome! That was a great scene! 10 out of 10! Like, the voice acting, the girl, whoever does Jessica's voice, props to them, because that scream was fantastical. Same thing with Battler's vid. My god, that was amazing. And this is a perfect, great time to bring in Golden Slaughter. Though for a second I mistook it for Mirage Coordinator. That was great. This is the Umineko experience I've been waiting for. I love the character development. I love the slice of life elements. But this is the blood. We are finally on the witch's game board. Father. The ones lying dead.
倒れているのは
Lying over there are
クラウスおじさん
Uncle Kraus,
ルドルフおじさん
Uncle Rodos,
キリエおばさんに
Aunt Kitty,
ローザおばさん
and Aunt
ゴー
Rosa,
ダさんで
and Goda-san.
5人
Just those 5. Right?
いや
No.
6人や
There are 6 people.
ここに
There's
もう一人おる
one more person over here. Oh, sorry. I think the ball hit the microphone. Oh, it did. I'm so sorry if it did. I'm so sorry. The body Hideyoshi was looking down on now happened to be hidden among the shadows in that mountain range of objects. In a blind spot to George, who stood by the entrance. So George couldn't tell whose body it was. So, George cursed himself. He cursed the fact that his worst guesses always turn out to be right.
じゃあ
So,
お父さんの足元に倒れているのは
at your feet is
シ
Sha-
シャノンなんだね
Shannon, isn't it?
ああ
Yes,
シャノンちゃんや
it's Shannon-chan. Oh no. George fell completely silent. He shook slightly, his lower lip trembling. Normally, he wouldn't want to run into his beloved's body. Screaming and crying. However, before rashly running forward, he worked to keep his composure and asked his father,
シャノンも
Is Shannon
クラウスおじさんたちと
the same as
同じなのかな
Uncle Cross and the others? Hideyoshi deeply understood the meaning of those words, so he couldn't give George an immediate answer. Or rather, he felt that silence was the only sincere and loving response he could give George right now. When George asked if Shannon was the same, he meant to ask whether her corpse was in the same condition as the others, or not. Since Hideyoshi hadn't denied it, it meant her corpse was in the same brutal state.
シャノンを
Can I
見てもいいかな
look at Shannon?
いや
No,
あかん
you can't.
どうして
Why not?
だって
After all,
もう二度とシャノンの顔を見られないんだ
I
よ
won't be able to see Shannon's face again. Right? So,
その
why
最後の顔
won't you let me see?
どうして見たらいけないんだ
Look
よ
like at the end.
お前が最後にシャノンちゃんに会ったのは
The
昨日
last
か
time you met Shannon-chan was yesterday, right? Yes,
そうか
I see.
そのシャノンちゃ
When you
ん
left
は
her,
別れ際にお前に
what
ど
kind
ん
of
な
face
顔を見せ
was
たん
she
や
showing you? Sh-
素敵な
It was a wonderful
笑顔
smile.
だったよ。
After he handed her the ring, she hesitated, even though she must have already made up her mind. Then she looked bashful and ran away because she was embarrassed to let him see her face looking like that. That expression was what revived in George's mind.
そうか。
I see.
ならシャノンちゃんもその笑顔をお前に残したいと願うはずや。
With the same smile in your memory. Hideyoshi looked down upon Shannon's body laying at his feet. Just like other bodies, it was in a horrible state that it made anyone want to cover their eyes. Her head had been smashed in from the side, and no more than half of her expression remained. If the remaining blood-soaked half of her expression had been wiped clean, with that graceful smile of hers had peeked out, but only half of it. Without thinking, Hideyoshi slapped his hand over his eyes. How brutal. If her face was going to be crushed anyway, if only half of it had been crushed, he might have been able to temporarily distract George from his pain by making the pathetic suggestion that it was someone else wearing Shannon's clothes. But half of her face had been left untouched. It caused the body so much humiliation, while also proving beyond the doubt that the body of Shannon... Sorry. I had to do something about this. 1 second. It caused the body so much humiliation, also proving beyond a doubt that the body was Shannon's and had no one else's. How inhumane, how brutish. And there, trying his best to burn the image of the remaining half of Shannon's expression into his eyes, as she lay at Hideyoshi's feet, was Kanon. Kanon was crying. Tears had risen to his eyes, but they did not drip down. But that didn't mean he wasn't feeling as much sadness as everyone else. Losing Shannon, who had lived with him in the same orphanage, whom he had loved as a sister, must have been the same as losing a blood relative.
ジョージ、シャノンちゃんはきっ
I'm
と
sure Shannon-chan
ありがとう言う
is
てるぞ。
saying thank you.
お前に恥ずかしいところを見られとうなかったんや。
You didn't end up seeing her in such a pitiful state.
きっと
I'm sure
お前が耐えてくれたこと
she's thanking you for holding
感
strong
謝しとるで。
and showing restraint.
分かってる。
I understand.
分かってるよ、父さん。
I understand, father.
分かってる。
I understand. George leaned against the George leaned against the outside wall of the storehouse, crouching down limply.
父さん、
Father,
頼みがあるんだ。
I have a request.
なんや。
What is it?
僕の代わりに
I want
見
you
て
to
ほ
look.
しいんだ。
I want you to look for me.
シャノンは指に
Is there
指輪をつけてるかな？
a ring on Shannon's finger?
指輪
A ring?
ちょいと見てみる。
Let me see. Oh, what is that image? No. Hideyoshi crouched down. As he did, Cannon slightly positioned to one of Shannon's hands.
あ
Yes,
あ、あるで。
there is
これはダイヤの指輪や。
a diamond ring
クズダイヤとちゃう。
with a valuable diamond.
なかなかの値打ちもんや。
Must have been pretty expensive.
それは
And
どっちの手の
which hand?
どの指にあるの
Which
かな。
finger is it on?
と、 左手の薬指や。
The ring finger on her left hand.
そっか。
I see.
シャノンちゃん、
So Shannon-chan
婚約しとったんか。
was engaged?
ジョージ
George,
あなた
don't tell me
まさか
you.
エヴァ、今はそんなん関係ないで。
It doesn't matter now.
シャノンちゃんは男に将来を約束されと
A
ったんや。
man made a lifelong promise to Shannon-chan.
一生を幸せにしちゃると男に言わせたんや。
A man promised her happiness for life.
それが誰かは問題
Who
とちゃ
that
うで。
man isn't the issue here.
男にそこまで言わしめて、
Being told by that man
女の本懐やない
is a
か。
woman's dream, isn't it?
いつこの指輪をもらったん
I
かは
don't
知らん。
know when she received this ring.
誰が渡したかも
I
知ら
also
ん。
don't know who gave it to her.
だが、
However,
それでも
even
シャノン
so,
ちゃんは指輪をもらえたんや。
Shannon-chan took this ring.
そして
Then she accepted it
それを受け入
and
れ、
put it on her left.
左の薬指に通したんや。指輪を送
I'm
った
sure
男
she
も
made. I'm sure the man who gave it to her
きっと喜んだんとちゃう
was
か。
also happy. To most of the people here, Hideyoshi was simply disturbed by this extraordinary situation. It was blurting out nonsense. However, someone who knew George and Shannon's true relationship would understand the full meaning of those words.
そっか、
I see.
ありがと
Thank you,
う、父さん。
Father. George stood up. The traces of tears still streaked his face, but his expression had returned to his usual calm one. Let's
行こ
go.
う。バトラー君、
But look,
ジェシカちゃん、
Jessica-chan,
これ以上僕たちがここにいると
if you stay here
大人
any
の邪魔になる。
longer, we'll get in the way of the adults.
そうだな
You're right. Jessica sniffled once, showing her face to her mother, who had been holding her the whole time, to let her know she was okay now. When she faced George again, she once again had on her usual expression, although she still couldn't smile.
バトラー
But
しっかり
hang in there. Battler kept on crouching in front of his parents' bodies.
すまねえな。
I'm sorry.
がっつり泣いたら落ち着いたぜ。
Like hell. Calm me down.
親父の野郎。ちょっと死んじまったくらいでピーピー泣くんじゃねえぜって。
You
笑って
bastard.
やがれ。
Dad. I bet you can't laughing at me. After all that shit I talked about you. Here I am crying like a baby. Just because you died. Well. So what?
仕方ねえだろ。親が死んだら
I
泣くよう
guess
に
I got the gene that makes
遺
me
伝子
cry.
すり込まれちまってた
Your
からよ。
parents hit the bucket. Battler's face was still bright red from the tears. But he had at least recovered enough to make a fake smile. If only a bitter one.
カノン
Kana,
お前もこれ以上ここ
you
にい
mustn't
てはいけ
remain
ません
here any longer either.
子供たちを連れて
Take the
お
children
屋敷に戻っていなさい
and return to the mansion. Natsuki had been standing under the rain the whole time, unable to take a step into the storehouse. Maybe she had her own way of grieving, different from Battler's. realizing that she had to take on a role of responsibility now that her husband was dead. She gave Kanan those orders.
はい、
Hi,
奥様。
madam. Kanan rose silently and turned to face me. His face was pure white, almost as though his own heart had died along with Shannon. And there was no life in his expression. On an ordinary day, if he had been told to guide the children through the beautiful rose garden, Kanan might have led the way. But now there was no distraction, no distinction. What was I saying? But now there was no distinction between Kanan and the children. They were now just kids, of about the same age, suffering the pain of losing those close to them. After making sure that the children were leaving, Nasui started giving orders to Genji.
現地、
Genji,
すぐに警察に連絡しなさい。
contact the police immediately.
台風が通り過ぎるまでは来られないでしょうか。
They probably won't be
ど
able
うすれ
to
ばいい
come
か
until the
指示を
typhoon
与えてくれ
passes,
るはずです。
but they should be able to tell us what to do next.
わかりました。
Understood.
防災用の無線機がありますの
There
で、
is an emergency radio,
それで連絡します。
so I will use that to contact them. When she heard that, Nasui remembered. That's right. The phones were out today, weren't they? However, they also had a radio, since they couldn't necessarily rely on phones all the time while living on an isolated island. At any rate, they should start by contacting the police and receiving their instructions. Everything else could wait.
ナチョ先生、
Dr. Nanjo,
もうこの場は
is there anything
ど
more
うしようもありませんか。
you can do here?
残念ながら
Unfortunately,
私には
there is
何
nothing
もできま
I
せん
can do.
わかりました。
Understood.
ゲンジ、
Genji,
せめて主人たちの顔を
could you at least cover their
何かで覆っ
faces?
てやることはできませんか。このような姿を晒すこと
Exposing them like this
当人にとっても
is humiliating
屈辱的
to
でしょ
them
うか。
as well.
はい。
Yes, Mom. Genji picked up several dried up towels from inside the storehouse. When Ava stopped him with a shrill voice.
ちょっとちょっと
Wait a second.
お待ちなさい
Stop.
よ。ここは犯行現場なんでしょ。
This is the scene of a crime, isn't it?
なら変に手を加えちゃダメよ。
Then we mustn't disturb it.
私たちは混乱してて
We
現場
all
に土足
panicked
で
and
踏み入
walked
っちゃ
in
ったけ
here
ど、
with our shoes
それは
on.
きっと警察の捜査の邪魔になったわよ。
Even that will surely get in the way of the police's investigation, right? Nasui glared at Ava, offended. Objectively speaking, Ava was right. Even so, she glared at Ava as though accusing her of refusing to do those tragic corpses, which had been humiliated even after death. The simple kindness of covering their faces. However, Ava had spoken both calmly and correctly. This horrible situation definitely wasn't an accident. It was a crime. Someone had killed them. It was a murder case. So they needed to be careful to avoid disturbing the site any further. They had to do what little they could to aid the police preserving the clues that might help with a distasteful culprit.
私もエヴァさんに
I
賛成
agree
で
with
すな。
Ava-san. Just gonna get up real quick. I'm not going anywhere. I just need to close these vents. Wait, it's so cold in this house. I'm gonna turn into a little popsicle. There we go. I agree with Ava-san.
警察が来るまでここは手をつけずにしておくべきです。
Until the police come, we should leave everything be.
奥様、いかがなさいますか？
What do you say, madam?
そうですね。
You're right.
わかりました。
Very well.
ここを閉ざしなさい。
Close it up.
それから念のため
And just in case,
ここに別の施錠をするように。
we should put on a different lock on it.
別の施錠？
A different lock?
ええ、
Yes.
ここに来た時シャッター
When
の
we
鍵は
came
閉
in
じていま
here,
した。
the shutter was locked.
ということはシャッターの鍵を使い
That means the
犯人が施
culprit
錠したということです。
used the key to the shutter to lock it.
確かに通りや。
That makes sense. that makes sense.
じゃあここを開けた限り犯人の指紋が残ってるんとちゃうんか。
The key that opens the shutter will have the culprit's fingerprints on it.
警察に証拠として提出する価値はあるでしょうけど、
I'm sure it'll be worth submitting to the police as evidence.
カノン君が普通に持ってここを開けるのに使用しちゃったわ。
But Ganagon usually has it, and used it to unlock the shutter just now.
多分カノン君の指紋も付着
It'll
しちゃってる
probably
わよ。
have Cannon's fingerprints on it.
そしてその鍵はさっき源氏さんに手渡され、源氏さんも素手で受け取ってる。
That key was handed to Genji-san just now, and he took it with his bare hands.
大した証拠にはなりそうにないわね。
It doesn't look like it'll be very useful as evidence.
それは不用心でし
That
た。
was careless of me.
申し訳ございません。
My apologies.
源氏さん、
Genji-san,
この倉庫の鍵は他にもあるんか？
are there any other keys to the storehouse?
いいえ、
No,
この一つだけです。
only this one.
ということは犯人はその鍵を使用人室から持ち出し、
So the culprit walked out of the servant's room with that key.
そして律儀に元の場所に戻したちゅうことになるな。
Was nice enough to return the key to where they found it? Hideyoshi's theory sounded plausible, but was actually very strange if you thought about it. Why would they go to all the trouble of returning the key to the key they stole? No. If you think about it even more deeply, there are some points that are even more bizarre. When a criminal hides a body, they usually try to delay the point at which it'll be found, so they can use that time to escape. The six weren't necessarily killed here, but it was reasonable to assume that they were killed somewhere on this island, carried to the storehouse, and hidden to delay the discovery of the crime. And yet, the eerie magic circle scribbled on the storehouse shutter had illegally indicated the location of the hidden corpses. Sure, it didn't explicitly mention the corpses, but six people had gone missing. In that situation, someone had made such an obvious piece of graffiti and even returned the key to the shutter, almost as though they wanted the corpses to be discovered.
とにかく一度は犯人が開け閉めをした施錠だけでは信用できません。
Anyway, we can't put all our faith in a lock that the culprit has opened once before.
犯人の手からもこの場所を保護する意味で施錠を新たにしたいと言っているのです。
If you want to protect this place from the culprit's hands, I think we should put a new lock on it.
いい案だと思います。
I think that's a good plan.
私も賛成です。
I agree. Genji finished around the inside the storehouse and unsealed a brand new padlock that had been inside a small box.
鍵はどうなさいますか？
What should I do with the key?
私が持ちましょう。
I will take it.
責任を持って警察に手渡します。
I will take responsibility and hand it over to the police. Nasui took the key to the padlock from Genji's hands. After that, they all exited and lowered the shutter. And so the corpses were no longer sealed behind the shutter, which was still covered with that creepy magic circle. Genji crouched down in front of the shutter to fasten the new padlock. Shutters often have a place in front of them where you attach your own lock, in addition to the main lock of the shutter. This was one of those types. Midst of the roar of thundering and pouring rain, the storehouse stood there ominously, with its closed shutter still covered in a blood-like creepy substance. It swallowed up the bodies of the 6. Nasui putting the new lock on wasn't mainly to preserve the scene for the police. She might have felt like she wanted to shut that mouth for all eternity, to prevent that eerie beast from swallowing up any more victims. Come on, let's go, everyone. Dr. Nanjo,
ご足労をありがとうございました。
very much for your work.
源氏は急いで警察に連絡を。
Hurry up and contact the police.
戻りましたらすぐに
I will
連
do
絡します
so. I'll do as soon as I return. The adults left the storehouse. The ghastly magic circle drawn on the shutter kept the 6 bodies in its throat, looming eerily as the lightning cut occasionally lit it up. That was awesome. Huh, almost like I said, 9:30. But we can do one more scene. It doesn't take that long. We'll do one more scene. Oh, that could be her from The Sound of the Rain. The voices from the kids' TV program Maria was watching. And then Gross Maria's cackling voice. In other words, what greeted them as they returned dumbfounded from the horrible, bizarre scene was the voice of Maria as she rolled around laughing at the TV. Those who returned to the room didn't know how to explain to Maria that her mother was dead, and were trapped by a suffocating silence. At first, Maria returned their stares with a dubious look. When she realized that they weren't trying to blame her for anything, she ignored them and again immersed herself in the TV program. The children wordlessly sat down heavily on the sofa. Their minds were probably blank from the state of shock. Everyone had already cried and mourned so much, but now they just vaguely sat there. Their faces seemed to have lost all emotion. Only Kanon had returned to his casual, calm expression. However, that probably didn't mean Kanon even able to wipe out the shock. Nothing was reflected in his eyes. He stared into empty space. Hideyoshi kept on fidgeting, and every time he remembered that horrible scene, he started murmuring about how he couldn't believe it. How he couldn't believe how it couldn't have been something from this world. How it must have been the work of some demon. The work of demons. Every now and then, his muttering produced a question directed at Nanjo. But the latter kept repeating in a calm, doctor-like manner that nothing could be understood by only glancing at the scene, and that until the police arrived, they wouldn't learn anything. However, Nanjo only appeared calm next to Hideyoshi, who simply couldn't suppress his agitation and fear. In fact, Nanjo also received a huge shock, and his face was deathly pale. Maybe that atmosphere was why she tried to rise to the challenge and take charge. Nosui appeared to be unchanged from her normal attitude, and she briskly gave directions.
私はお父様のところへ行ってきます。
I will go see father.
源氏は急ぎ警察へ連絡を。
Quickly contact the police.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
私も一緒させていただいていいかしら、夏日姉さん。
I wonder if you allow me to tag along. Nasui Nissan?
クラウス兄さんがいなくなった以上、お父様の補佐は私の仕事だもの。
Kraus Nissan is now gone. The task of aiding father has been left to me.
その私が夏日姉さんに任せっきりで、ここでくつろいでいるわけにはいかないわ。
It would be improper of me to relax here while relying entirely on you. Nasui was struck speechless by Ava's aggressive move in such a situation like this. She seemed to be claiming that, with Kraus dead, the one to take responsibility shouldn't be his wife, but herself, the next highly ranked in the family. Or maybe she hadn't been all happy when Natsui took command without reference to her in such an extreme situation. However, even Ava's mind had been blank from shock until a moment ago. She only came to her senses after Natsui started giving orders.
お好きになさるといいでしょう。
Just do as you like. Natsui started walking without saying a word. Ava followed behind her. As they did, Kumasawa ran into the parlor. She usually wasn't the kind of person to run around, so under normal conditions, most people would have taken her entrance as a sign that something was the matter. But because everyone was still stricken with shock, they hardly even noticed her.
奥様
Madam!
奥様
Madam!
夏日姉さんならお父さんのところへ行ったで。
If you're looking for Natsui-san, she went to see father.
すぐ戻ってくるやろ。
She'll be back soon.
どないしたんや、熊沢さん。
What happened, Kumasawa-san?
それが
You see,
食堂に血が
in the dining hall,
血が
there was blood. Blood! The ears of everyone in the parlor twitched. Everyone thought the same thing. I hope I misheard that. Any container can only hold so much, and no one here would be capable of handling yet another tragedy. So they all thought it. I hope I misheard that.
なんやて
What happened?
食堂
In the dining hall.
朝食の準備に
When I went to the dining hall
食堂に配膳に行っ
to
たら
serve breakfast, the first one to start running over was George. His harsh footsteps jogged Hideyoshi and Anjo to their senses, and they chased after him. Battler and others followed. They flew into the dining hall one after the other, but they didn't find any change that might have caused Kumasawa to go pale. To those who had viewed the gruesome scene in the storehouse, it was a bit of anticlimax. However, Kumasawa, who had followed them, pointed it out. There really were some traces of blood remaining on the floor. Compared to that terrible scene, it wasn't very impressive. However, if you calmly thought about it, this definitely indicated the loss of a lot of blood.
ここにも血だまりがあるよ。
There's another puddle of blood over here.
これは一体
What in the world?
だいぶ時間が経っ
It
ているように見
appears
えま
that
すな。
a great deal of time had passed.
おそらく昨べ
It's
ここで殺されたんだと
probably
見て
safe
い
to
い
say
でしょ
that they were killed here last night.
そういうことになるんやろな。
Definitely looks that way.
わしらは夕べずっと食堂
We
で
were
話
talking
し合いを
together
しと
at
っ
the
た。
dining hall until late into the night.
そしてここに何者かが押し入ったに違い
Someone
ない。
must have forced their way in.
父さんたちが打ち合わせを抜けて休んだのは何時だっけ？
When did you and Mom slip out of the meeting to go to sleep?
昨夜の24時を少し過ぎた
It
くらい
was
の
a little
頃や。
past midnight.
だから
So
その後に
you should probably assume
と考えるんが
it
妥当やろ
happened
な。
after that.
マジかよ。
Are you kidding me?
勘弁してくれよ。
Give me a break.
お嬢様、
Milady,
しっかり。
please stay strong.
俺はもう
After seeing that hell on
さっ
earth,
きの倉庫でこの世の地獄ってやつを拝んじまったから
this is
今さらこのくらいじゃ答えないぜ。
nothing.
そうかよ。
Really?
よかったな。
Good for you.
私は頭がどうにかなっちまいそうだぜ。
Gonna explode.
ここは食堂だぜ。
This is the dining hall, right?
私は毎日ここで食事をして、
This is where I eat.
学校のことをぼやいたり、
Complain about school.
宿題のことをぼや
Complain
いた
about
り、
homework.
親父に
Talk
学
to
校
my
の
dad
成績の話を
about
さ
my
れたり、
grades.
そういうところなんだぜ。
That's what this place is to me.
お嬢様、
My lady.
これ以上
It
こ
wouldn't
こ
be
にい
good
る
to
のは
remain
よくあり
here
ません。
any longer.
客間へ戻りま
Let's
しょう。
return to the parlor.
俺も同感さ。
I agree.
秀吉おじさん、
Uncle Hideyoshi,
この部屋は多分
I think
警
this
察にとっ
room
て
will be
重要な意味
really
があると思います。
important to the police.
俺たちが踏み荒らしちまうのは
Don't
ま
you
ずいん
think
じゃ
it
ない
would
です
be
か。
bad if we trampled all over it? Balor proposes in a slightly firm voice, along with Connor. He grabbed the pail and shaking Jessica's shoulders.
バトラさんの言う通りですな。
Everything's just as Butler's son has said.
この部屋にこれ以上
There's nothing more
好
to
んで
gain
居続
from
けることは
remaining
あ
in
りま
this
すま
room.
い。
Nanjo spoke while looking at everyone's pale faces. Even though that horrible scene in the storehouse felt like something not of this world. At least then, we'd be able to leave, to cut ourselves off from that place and run away. Everyone had a share in that feeling. However, this dining hall was different. It was in the mansion, the main building, on this estate. And as Jessica had said, it should have been one of the most calming places, even inside the mansion. It was where all the relatives had eaten lunch and dinner yesterday. The shock of seeing this place smeared with blood reminded us of that horrible spectacle in the storehouse. And of course, and forced us to accept that we hadn't really been able to run away from the scene of that tragedy.
わしも同感や。
I agree too.
この部屋には犯人の痕跡が残ってるかもわからんしな。素人のわしらがかき回すべきとちゃう
Amateurs like
で。
us shouldn't stir the place up.
はよ出るんや。
Let's leave quickly.
はよはよ。
Quickly. Heiyoshi also understood the meaning of what Butler had said and pushed everyone to hurry out of the dining hall. The way we were then, looking at that blood any longer would have been too harsh. Nobody went against his words. Everyone raced each other out of the dining hall. It was almost as though the last person in the room would be trapped in there, all alone. And shut the doors. And that's what we're going to call it. Okay. Let's save the game. And it's that feels weird. It's already November 4th. That's weird. That's weird. Okay. So I am just gonna leave really quickly. There was just a quick little thing I wanted to do. But I love you. I don't know when I'm gonna stream again. Definitely maybe Tuesday or Wednesday night. Nothing anytime soon though. For the next couple of days. But I love you, my friends, my monsters, my ghouls and goblins and witches and demons and vampires. I'll see you all tomorrow. No, sorry, I can't see you tomorrow. It'll be on Wednesday. Probably Wednesday or Tuesday. But I'm always reposting shit on Twitter, so yeah, maybe you'll see some cool or fun art I I send along the way. Alright. Love yous. See y'all next time. Bye bye.